I'm sending him a fuck you from here. Welcome to the Insiders Audio Nauts, lovers of surfing and people who've got absolutely nothing to do. So they've clicked on the world's best podcast. Special episode, homage to Europeans' leading water photographer, or one of. A legend in his own time, Timo Jarvinen, a Finnish guy. You saw that, matey?
Yeah, I'm glad that you pronounced his last name. Yeah, obviously tragic news. And yeah, Timo, like for me, I wish there was more people like him, like how he stood for what he believed in and dug his feet in a really positive way. Um, I thought the Paul Evans write up on Stab was phenomenal, if I'm honest. Would encourage anyone to go and read it and check out the photos that they've used. But yeah, huge loss. Um, am I right in saying was it cancer?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, cancer. I actually talked to Paul this afternoon. He rang me about a surfboard technical question on fins or something. He's writing an article for Stab, and we had a little bit of chuckle actually because um, fucking like I was on Insta and I saw got film come across on the stories. So basically, I think his wife's got hold of his handle, and she's been posting a whole lot of tributes to him, which there's a ton. And like this guy was, he was a pretty special guy. Like I one of the things I remember clearly was Paul, myself, and him. We we did a Mandaka run one time. Like he not photo run for him surfing. Um, and we took the Euroglass van and we were riding down there. It was pretty funny. I think it must have been when Leo must have been about 14, 15, because I remember somehow the conversation switched to that. And like Paul and I were kind of alluding to the fact that maybe it's not a good idea that kids drop out of school and pursue professional careers, yeah, without any schooling. And Timo's like, are you fucking kidding me? Fucking Leo speaks five languages, man. He's gone so far, much further than all these fucking idiots in school. And, and it was kind of funny. You never knew when he was gonna say something like that, which, let's be honest, for Leo, it was a very true thing. He traveled the world, he was an intelligent kid, could speak like three or four languages by then, and was already making, I'd say he would have been making upwards of between 50 and 100 grand as a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you can be a kid like my son who's at law school when he's 20, he's still 5 years off, coming close to making that sort of money. So, it's a different thing. Like, if you get a high quality academic degree and career. Always, it's hard to see that when you're young and you see sports people and everything, but life can be a long time. Like Timo made it at 60, and I guess from 40 to 60, you can still have an incredibly professional career, whereas a sportsman, maybe not. But that was just one of the things that he brought up, which I thought was like, because he was watching this stuff go on.
Yeah. But that's what it seems like. Obviously, I didn't ever have the fortune of speaking or holding conversations with him, but like hearing all the tributes and stuff, it sounds like one of the parts that everybody kind of treasured was he was a straight talker. Like, you ask a question, you get an answer without any frills or spills or bullshit, which is sometimes, especially nowadays, people are a bit afraid to say what they really think or worry about insulting people, or it doesn't sound like he held back in a really good way as well. And sounds like some hell stories and some amazing trips, and his photography is unbelievable.
It's just crazy. Like I posted a little story on mine that because he sent me a picture because I got a project hopefully coming on over the next couple of years and I said to him, look, we'd love to use one of your prints and so he was going to give us this picture and the housing for it and everything. And it's just that sort of really weird dynamic where he came back and he was explaining to me about his cancer, which was just so heavy. But you hear about this with some people, and some people get through, some people don't. It really did drift fast for him, but like he spent a lot of time in our factory, and I knew him really well. Like me and him and Christian Bradley would have really good discussions, and like Paul said in his write up, like one time, like we used to run these ads with Surf Europe, where we'd give Surf Europe a surfboard and they'd give us a full page ad.
Yeah,
At the time, they wanted to charge us money, and Belly had a word to Pierre and Yes, and Pierre and Yes said to Surf Europe, "Look, if you hustle them and don't give them a free ad, we're going to pull all our advertising budget
yeah,
of your ad." So they gave us a full page, and we could never get pictures. And I bought this Canon G11 which at the time was like a legendary camera, and I knew nothing about taking pictures, I'm telling you. And so I asked Timo one day, and he come back like 3, 4 days in a row and shot with me for hours on end. Like I literally can't remember any of it. And I ended up doing a few ads for us by myself from pictures I took for myself just from his tips.
yeah.
And that's a whole afternoon for him. He could, if he was training someone, that would have been big bucks.
Oh, of course, yeah. Like a lot of money for his quality level of photography. I mean, yeah, it's really, really sad. Really sad news. Legend lost. Um, the one kind of I was thinking about this yesterday. One of the really kind of cool things about that line of work is that he almost lives on a little bit,
For sure. It's
and
crazy, isn't
it,
it?
which is beautiful in a way. I think it's like it's really cool. A bit
Like
like a
painters.
musician and
Mm.
painters, and yeah, exactly.
Art.
Yeah, yeah, art, yeah, exactly. Even surfboards, I guess. But yeah, really, really sad. Like really tragic news, to be fair.
Shout out to all you budding photographers out in the world. Timo came from nowhere, so don't give up if you're good. That was one of the big and really hard things for him was when everything switched to digital, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden, and I think it still is for a lot of people. Like um, with the iPhones and things like that. And I think it's a similar thing in surfboard shaping, which I saw probably Matt Biolis and Pizell allude to in this article, which I was 100% in agreement with. I don't know how any young kid, unless they're rich, can come out of nowhere and become a successful shaper these days. Because when you've got a monopoly of big brands and like in photography, when you've got someone who's got so much access to computer wizardry and you're just a young tiker, like it's expensive. It's expensive material. You really need to be able to say, okay, I'm going to live a life of potential poverty and dedicate that to my art. And maybe you
Hmm.
have a crack. Look at Van Gogh, died
I mean,
poor.
I agree. I do think that using, or while we're on the kind of subject of Timo, he's the perfect example of what you can do though, because I get what Paizo is saying and I get what Biolis is saying, but they look at it from one way and one way only. Like they would love to be able to sell surfboards at the same price as Ryan Birch or Ashton Pickle or you know,
Crosby.
um,
Is it Crosby? No, what's his name? Colapinto?
what a shaper.
Yeah, you don't tell me. We've got to talk about Kuka Pinto.
Oh yeah, yeah, the long, yeah. I've forgotten his first name. I think it's called
Amazing boards.
um, and like Tyler Warren and Album and what Matt Parker does and stuff. So there's different avenues with that, and I think Timo showed that. Like he didn't go down video route, rarely went down the digital kind of road at all, but he got rewarded for craft, and I think that's slightly different. Like I think Matt Biolis would very much struggle to make a board on the level of like in terms of sell it and create the demand and like describe it and make it work in different ways that like Simon Jones does and all the other people I just mentioned. So I think like when there's things like photography, like shaping boards and stuff, like yes, you have to go all in and you have to gamble and think, yeah, you might live a po life of poverty, but you also have to value your art and know that if you're good at it, there's something there. And
Yeah,
if you
but
love it,
his last 10 years weren't professionally fulfilling, trust me. Like it was hard for me to feel sorry for a bunch of those crew back in the day because when Quicksilver got sold at one stage, I forget who they got sold to at the time, their marketing department got ripped apart, and it's because they had a bunch of photographers and what have nots in the marketing department just on retainers. And
yeah,
those guys were making shit tons more than
yeah,
me and a couple of my friends who were in different departments. And obviously, yeah, they were great artistically, but at the time we thought what we were doing was pretty good. I remember moving like €500,000 worth of stock into the UK
yeah.
to to smash your market. And like, we got none of the rewards those guys got where we thought they were on the gravy train because they were in marketing. But the market just moved and it still is moving. Same for the big players now. It's moving. It's switching back to small, like you said before. It's switching back to more small core brands because if you're big, like good luck. And Timo hated that, and he was prepared to bite the bullet and walk away.
Well, they what's the saying? You live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yep, yep. So massive rest in peace to Timo. I I'm sending him a fuck you from here because like
I would
he would have
appreciate it.
expected it. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, rest in peace, and yeah, legend lost. Um, moving on from that, while we're here, should we talk Margaret River?
Yeah, we can because it's actually another like extreme competition. Timo was an extreme man. Margies, I think, is one of the more extreme events during the year, just in the respect that it's really raw. I'm not, like it's not perfection. It's raw. It's
Yeah.
sharky. It's got the cut as well. There's a few people getting knocked off. It's the last time we're going to have this ridiculous. Uh, or is it ridiculous?
Um, I think I prefer the season without it. Yeah, I think I side on it being ridiculous, but I agree with you about Margie's. I love the fact that it's not perfect and it's raw because I think that's when it's perfect, it's like not saying not saying perfect waves are easy to surf to that level, but like I want to see these surfers fully challenged. Like even like just make it raw, make it rugged, make it harder for them. Like these are meant to be and are the best competitive surfers in the world. Well, like they should be tested with the conditions. That I Margie's is one of my favorite events every year because of that.
Yeah, same here. And like Mick Fanning traditionally said that he will never go back to Margie's because it's such a fucking hard way to surf. But you say that, and then greatest surfer of our time, um, John Florence, doesn't make it look hard to surf, does he? And neither does Ethan. So let's have a look. Look at this. Tomorrow, which is they're already ahead of us. So the day before the contest thing is 8 to 12 foot and offshore. Saturday, first day, 6 to 8 foot and light northerly. Then the weekend looks quite small. Then we've got 8 to 10 foot and good winds, 15 to 20 foot and
Gee,
good winds, 10 to 15 foot and good winds. So come and get it.
pumping.
It's
Okay, so
it
I'm going to use this as an opportunity, right? Because you do,
That's surf line 10 to 15 foot. So let's say that'll be Margaret River because they're like the wines. That's gonna be 8 to 10 foot. Or we'll see. Let's see if Surfline can match what we can say.
so doing something slightly different than what we normally do. I'm going to use this as an opportunity. I want your help to pick my fantasy team live. So, so tier A, I've already
Is that
picked.
because in my group I've won everything? Okay, if people listen to it and you want the opinion of a trusted winner.
That's it. So tier because you don't do the WSL one, so this is the WSL
Yes, I
one.
do.
Oh, do you? I thought your
Yeah.
money was on the other one.
No, no, no. The rest of the
Ah,
group didn't, mate, because the WSL one just seems to be better. You get live updates. It's easy.
okay. So tier A, at the mo I've picked my team, and at the moment I've picked Geordie Smith and Jack Robinson. Would you
Okay, so
change?
I went Geordie Ethan. I went against Jack, which
Oh,
is really hard, and I haven't yet. We'll see after round one.
so both back Geordie. I thought
Yeah,
you might have gone,
I think Geordie's looking good this year. It's big, he's powerful, he's happy,
yeah. So you're not
and who
picking
knows? He's
Felipe.
just sometimes, fuck, a lot of times, the best dude at the end of the season, dudes or dudettes, are the ones that just keep winning. Now he's winning, so you got to think, do they
Yeah.
keep winning?
That's why I was close to putting in Kanoa because he's top of like the Aussie points so far after Bells and Burley. Um, he's just consistent,
He's
but
incredible, but Bells and Burley don't match Margies for me. That's the
no.
one thing why I'm worried about Kanoa and also Italo, even though I saw some incredible, fuck, he was just ripping ass tubes.
Yeah, that's at the box though, isn't it?
No, no, no. He was getting barreled going left
Oh,
on
not
the
that video you
left.
sent me.
Oh, that was that. Okay, so that's why I sent it to you. That's nearly the best ever backside barrel I've ever seen, as in hardest.
Backside? What? No, surely not. Like everyone, like John at pipe and Jamie at pipe, and that's all back. That's all backside.
Yeah, did you see that pit?
Yeah,
That's
I mean it's
freakish. And
incredible.
then that's the box. It's just freakish. I don't even know how he stands up and gets back up the face and along.
It is freaky.
And he's really good backside at main break.
He is. Yeah.
And he can really attack that end section, but I still didn't put him in my team.
Nor did I. Tier B, I've gone Leo, Griffin, Connor O'Leary, and Al Cleland. That means I've
Yeah.
left out Miguel Pupo, Rio Wider, Jake Marshall, Seth Moniz, Joel Vaughan, Ale Jimenez, Cole Harishman, Marco, Matt McGilvery, Jao Chancellor, Lobby, and George Pitar.
I think I went the same as you, but I had a crack at Lobby, I think.
I think Lobby could be.
I wanted to put Al Cleveland in my team. I reckon he's pretty good there. I obviously went Leo. He's incredible. I went Lobby, Leo, Connor, and Griff. I
See, I was
mean,
close to changing Griff for Lobby.
Griff's just Griff's a top three surfer at every single
Yeah.
stop. He's maybe not as top three um, speaker, but
Tier C, I've gone Ryan Callanan and Jacob Wilcox.
Well, there you go. I picked my two before Jacob got got given the wild card, but I went pretty close. I went RCal too. He's got a 10 there backside before. Did he get a 10 or was it a 9.9?
It should have been a 10. I think it was a 9-9. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest backhand
That was
three pack
mental.
of Rios of ever. There's no way it shouldn't. It
Yeah.
it was a 10. So anyway, I went him in Crosby because I think Crosby goes Crosby Colpinto's in. He's a mental surfer. Honestly,
I,
he's a mental surfer.
I had
He's
Ryan
a
and
bit bigger.
Crosby until Jacob Wilcox got in the draw,
Jacob Wilcox is a really good crack at that too.
especially when it's
He's
that
CT
big.
level. He could just be in the main event without being a wild card.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think the other wild cards are anywhere near his level, even though they're great surfers. I think is it Vincent?
Winter Vincent.
Really good surfer, and Mikey McDonough. He's
Yeah,
a
Mick
powerful
McDonough.
kid. He's a powerful kid, but I don't know if he can match some of the big guns.
No, yeah, I agree.
Even though he could get through first ra- first round, because if he comes in a 3 round heat, for example, and he's got Ian
Philippe.
Gavino, who's a great surfer, or David Silver, who are on their backhand, and he'll be frontside. Mikey,
He'll
he's
have
pretty
top seeds though,
comfortable.
won't he? So he'll
Yeah,
probably
well, he only has to get second in the first round to get through to
yeah,
round three.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to take on the big fellas, hasn't he?
But still, yeah, I'm backing Jacob Wilcox. Could do damage in the world title, in my opinion. Like we've seen wild cards go quite good at Bells and at Burley, and I reckon he might be. I genuinely think Jacob Wilcox should win it.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be so good. It's been ages since a male wild card has won an event.
I
Um,
don't know if he can do it against the likes of Geordie, Jack,
I think out there he can. I think he's
Geordie, Jack, uh, Ethan.
so. Also, while we're on it, for the first
This
event,
way, John couldn't beat Jack.
yeah, but that's different. That was different.
Ah, John was ripping. Jack's
Yeah,
just an absolute magician, especially there. He lifts to the party.
yeah, he does.
I thought, why didn't you start with the women who are actually at the top of the screen?
Because I was saving that till best till last.
Oh,
This is the first time this year that I have not picked Katie Simmers,
well, I don't need $5 to bet on the fact that you've picked Gabby.
Gabriella Bryant.
Yeah, she's current. She she won it last year, didn't she?
She did.
I think, yeah, and she's got the yellow jersey, powerful wave, powerful surfer, Hawaiian. I don't think anyone can match her.
No, well, so I've gone here, her in tier A, tier B, and my power surfer. I've gone Tyler Wright,
Oh,
and
there you go. I thought about Tyler.
I've gone Caroline Marks.
Oh, well, that's where we differing.
So who are
Who do
you
you think I've
going?
gone?
I think you've gone either Isabella Nichols or Vahine.
I've gone Isabella and
Tyler?
Betty Lou, Sakara,
Oh,
arms in the air, Johnson.
you're going for your wonky donkey.
Yep, yep.
Who have you gone tier C?
Brisa Hennessy. I've gone for a full
Oh,
frontside power attack.
I've gone. I take it you haven't seen the wild cards for the women.
No,
Bronte Macaulay.
great surfer, backside. But I think Brisa can match her just on the fact that, I don't know, it's
I
just
just
fun.
think with the
She's made
forecast,
the final five before.
and with like we said, Margies being raw and stuff. I just think local knowledge out there helps, and I think Bronte's
Not scared.
smash it.
And surfer. I didn't see she was in there. I could
Yeah,
have a crack at putting her in my team.
she's in my team. Before that, before I saw she made it, I actually picked Bella Kenworthy. Been
Oh
really
yeah,
impressed with
she's
her this
pretty good
year.
too, but I think she might lack a little bit of experience out there.
Yeah, but then I've said that about every event and she's done well, so
Yeah, and I don't know about the backside girl from Trestles either. I think the waves might be a little bit powerful, and I'm not saying that they can't have it, but I'm saying the same for the guys from the men's side. You either like apex dog, like it's
yeah,
10 foot. Like I wouldn't be backing. I don't know who, but put it this way, Geordie and Ethan have got the biggest legs on tour, and that's why I put them in my team.
yeah,
'Cause there's a lot of chattering out there as well. There's a lot of wind. If it's a light northerly, you're coming over lumps, trying to control. That's why the winds are so good in waves like that, because that's what they surf.
yeah. When it's that big as well, it can do that. But I've seen, obviously we've seen George Pittard got, what was it, like a nine or something against John getting barreled out there as well.
That's pretty rad considering George comes from East Coast and Manly, because like I was just thinking,
Haven't done
Kelly,
a while too.
I don't know if Kelly ever won an event out there. He's East Coast. He likes short, slabby sort of or fun. He's not known for Sunset or Margies or places like that.
Yeah, he hated. Is it Halia that he hated or Sunset? He like openly said he
I'd
hates
say
it.
hates it. I don't
Yeah,
know if Parko ever won, if they even had the comp there in the West. He probably could have or would have, but it just seems like it's a John Jack sort of a place. And
yeah,
where do those guys grow up? Hawaii and WA.
yeah.
Isabella Nichols won there when she had to.
She had to. Yeah. Do you know what's funny as well is part of me wanted to pick Cole Houshman, right? But I just can't accept to put him anywhere near any on my teams. I didn't even want to
Yeah, no,
mention
I'll
his
never
name,
pick him again.
but never picking him ever again. Um, but part of me wanted to because of exactly what you said. Big kid, big waves, strong waves kind of
He
thing.
could go good there. And, I'm not going to hold a grudge forever, but I probably will. He could go there. I just don't know. And this is the thing where I don't know so much about Tyler Wright, where they're brutal sort of surface. Tyler's got that brutal frontside whack, and Cole's kind of like that. Where I really think Margies is, despite all that power and everything, it's a wave where you need ultimate timing.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I picked this is probably a bad reason to, but I've picked Tyler more based on the fact that I think she'll get through heats against people who are less used to the waves of that size, power, and like rawness. So like I think she'll get through. Like she could beat someone who just like she doesn't have to surf good, but she'll get like a 12-point heat total, and she'll
Against someone that
be
might not catch a wave, paddling
yeah.
around left to right, get a closeout. So you've gone for which is a pretty good pick. I didn't know she was in it. Bronte as a wild card. So you know who I think's a wild card on the guy side, who I never seem to pick. He's a hard guy to pick because he's not the shiny one.
Um,
Matty Matty McGillivray.
yeah, well I've picked him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you did. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because he's
He's
just
an insane.
absolutely wild.
He's a he's a hell man, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah. Literally, like he will send it off that end section.
He's ended up having like a good 5, 6 year career on tour where
Yeah,
other more highly fancied surfers have fallen away just by his supreme heavy water skills.
yeah, and consistency, and like you say, he's one of those people. He flies under the radar, doesn't he? Like a little bit. Like
He's got a mental air game as well.
the other one who I wanted to pick, and I've been so impressed with him this year is Jake Marshall, because I think he's really, really good. But I'm not picking him this event.
Yeah, he can't pick everyone. He could go
Exactly.
out there.
Yeah, I mean, so could everyone, I guess.
I read an article with Kieran Perro about them going to the box, but I don't think they'll go to the box.
No, not with that forecast. They're going to have
Just
waves that
can't
may
run a full
break.
day, I don't think. Oh, it's
Yeah, and
probably too
that, yeah.
big for the box.
Well, yeah. Plus, they can't run a full day, I guess, and also, by the sounds of things, Margaret River will be pumping anyway, so there's no need to in their eyes.
I don't know about you, but I kind of haven't really seen any of Nate Florence this year. Have you been watching any of his drops?
Not as much, no. It's obviously gone. It's yeah, it's gone off the boil a little bit. I feel like
Sure,
in
he's still getting hits and everything, but I'm wondering how many people like us that kind of frothed off on it at the start have become jaded by that sort of thing.
yeah, do you know what? I think it's a really good point because I think in that area or space of content at the moment, I do think that I'm a bit fatigued of it all. Like Nathan's, Jamie O'Brien's, I haven't seen a lot of lately. It seems like it's not doing much. Even like Kale, Brock, like you're not seeing much of it. It's just a bit of a fatigued space at the moment. Um, yeah, like I'm sure Nate will drop something soon where it's unbelievable, and we'll watch it and be back on. But yeah, I
Or is
haven't
it because we're
often yet.
or is it because we're surf comp geeks as well and we're in the middle of a really good run of comps and true to thank God to ourselves we've been surfing too much anyway. And hopefully I mean you just can't keep watching stuff like that and not actually I mean otherwise what do you do with your life? Obviously, unless you're unemployed and like chained up
Yeah.
in a room and force fed YouTube.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I think it shows that the WSL is having a pretty good year because normally Nate Florence would have dropped a video just before or just after an event that everyone's talking about, saying, "Oh, why is he getting those waves and the WSL aren't? Oh, Slab Tour, John should quit and join him and do that." But obviously, that's not really happened because the WSL haven't really got too skunked this year, and he's not really dropped anything like that as well.
If I was Nate's highly paid manager and advisor, well, he could reach out to me if he wants. I'd start stockpiling hell videos from now. He's got half of May, June, July, August, 4 months stockpiling quality stuff and boom, start dropping it from the 15th of September. Because from the 5th of
Yeah,
September until the following of April, uh, there's no more comps anyway. So
yeah,
all these top dogs in world surfing, you don't see them anymore.
yeah,
And
100%.
I'd be looking at that when signing pros onto contracts that were doing the comps as well. I'd be saying, well, look, man, all good, you're doing the tour, but you're not going to be visible for me for September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 7 months. We've already said that.
Yeah.
So
I
you
think
better start bringing me some films or some autograph signing sessions.
yeah.
Or unfortunately, we can't pay you so much because
I
every
think
other has got to do 11 months work a year.
I think you're 100% right though. Like I think if I was Nathan or someone like that, or like even if I was like Stab now, I'd be thinking, oh, should we delay some projects and try and release it that where you're going to get everyone's eyeballs on it because they aren't watching the WSL or things like that. So I think that's a really good point.
Any kook or core in the last couple of days?
Um, Not really. Let me try and think of one.
I got one. People
Yep.
that put their surfboards fin sides down in a board rack,
Wait, so the
tail down.
tail down, nose up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a really good one. With the fins in,
Yep.
I always flip it up the other way.
Yeah, of course, because you got 1 point for it to sit on,
Yeah.
and nose it's gonna.
And all of my boards are ASIMs.
Oh, there you go.
Um, yeah, is it kooky though? I'm just trying to think when we was in Indo, we had a board rack
Guess
and
if it's in sand, it's no problem. But
yeah. I would say it's a little bit kooky. I don't think it's like rule breaker, but I definitely think the more it's more core to put things up.
what about while you're walking along and your device connects to a Bluetooth that you didn't want it to?
That's just annoying.
When you're walking from your car to your house and it flips from your car, if you've left the keys in, to the speakers inside the house or something, and you
Haha.
don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah, every time. Every time I put my AirPods on in the morning and it connects to the iPad upstairs where Emily's watching something and it will just like
That's
blast
it.
some random thing into my ears.
I had my missus's headphones like I'm watching and it's just connected to her things. Ah, the world of Bluetooth. We're all getting buzzed by rays on that, by the way. That's my equivalent
Probably.
of what do you call them? Chemtrails.
Chemtrails, yeah.
Bluetooth
There's
trails.
loads of, there's too many conspiracy theories about people trying to dim the sun and all of that.
Well, then maybe that's what's happening with Bluetooth. So thanks for coming, Matt. And
Thanks, brother.
let's talk.
We
Let's
got
have a
some
bit
guests
of.
come in.
Yeah, yeah, we got some guests coming. Don't you worry about that.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.